Hello, guys. Welcome to She Scores, where we talk all things women's soccer. I'm your host, Kayla. I am genuinely so excited for this episode because we have been working so much on these data tables and trying to perfect them. Now, obviously, they're still not perfected, but they're, we got them. So, we got some good stuff for you guys today. So, we are looking at Angel City versus Racing Louisville. Now, in my opinion, this game, by looking at the data and gathering it, was a relatively close game. And I think the scoreline pretty much kind of reflected that. I mean, Angel City only lost by a goal. The final score was 3-2. And Angel City, especially at the end, really pushed for an equalizer. They were not able to get the equalizer. And sometimes that is how games end. As much as you're either pushing for that last goal or whatever it may be, sometimes it doesn't always go that way. But we are going to look at the data table first to kind of go over the numbers. So I'm going to do that for you guys. I'm going to come over here and look at the table. So for expected goals for both teams, Angel City was at 1.4 and Racing was at 1.8. Now those numbers are pretty close, so both teams, for how many goals they were going to score, that's pretty close. And both, I would say, are on, especially more like the level kind of playing terms of how many goals they're going to be scored. And I don't think it was this team's going to score more goals. It was kind of like one has a slightly higher chance. And part of this is a little wrong, my bad, with the, because the data thing was not lining up. Pass correction rate, 74.3 for Angel City and 69.4. Again, some pretty close numbers with how they were accurately passing to their teammates and keeping the ball moving. Possession, this one is where it kind of jumps a little bit with Angel City to the 61% and Racing 39%. Those are not as close, so which means Angel City had a little bit more control over the game, and you can kind of see that with their passing correction as well. They were moving the ball around a lot more, and obviously, as we can see, they, especially in the end of the game, if you watch the end, you can kind of tell they're making that push for a final goal, and they were making the most, trying to make the most of their chances. Interceptions, Angel City 6, Racing 17. Again, that kind of goes to show for their possession. Angel City was controlling a lot of the game, so Racing Louisville's defense had to kind of make a little bit more interceptions and play a little bit more defense. So formation, so this is wrong on here because what it said was 4-2-3-1. Angel City actually went out with a 4-4-3-3, as did Racing Louisville, so both were trying to find spots on the wings and get it to their right wingers, left wingers, stuff like that. So that was kind of their game plans, and I think both teams actually did pretty decently well at that. There were a few things in the game that I think people were a little obviously it was unnecessary in the game with the unintentional or it wasn't unintentional it was pretty intentional hair pull. I say unintentional, it was not unintentional. With the hair pull at the end, which led to an Angel City penalty, which is what got them to 3-2. So, and that kind of also shows with the interceptions and all the defense Louisville was playing, that you could tell that Angel City was putting putting the defense on their toes. That's what they were going for. So we're going to kind of look at this data table here that we have made. I just need to get it. There we go. Okay. So, both teams used the use of wingers. The only thing, like especially seeing players left wide open on far posts, either quarter kicks or kind of in the run of play. So especially like a lot of both teams were kind of making far post runs, and on both ends, players were left kind of wide open. And especially the teams that are going 4-3-3 and going on the wings and trying to find their wingers and play on the wing, you really have to be careful of that because that's, obviously kind of like what both teams were trying to do. And for Angel City, players left wide open on the top of the box. There were a few times they did that, and then obviously some defensive mistakes led to goals. And I guess both can be said for Racing as well. And then obviously good. I think Angel City was doing a really good job, especially on those far post runs, especially during corner kicks, getting open. And even though they were being left wide open, they were finding those spots where they were left wide open. And for Racing, it's not needed aggressive defense, which obviously is to be said. And she was served a 3-match ban. But I was looking at numbers for her, and apparently it's her first red, but it's not the first time she has some of at least one of the people who has the most fouls in the league. So yeah. So obviously this game was a pretty close one. Defensive mistakes were a killer for both teams. Angel City had a few lapses in defense that either almost led to goals or did lead to goals. The same can be said for Racing. They had some not needed aggressive defense that, as we saw, led to a penalty. And I think, honestly, if both teams can, their offenses were doing pretty good. I think their offenses are relatively strong. Maybe not the strongest they could be, but I think for defense, if both teams can lock it up defensively, I think they would have a lot better chance not getting killed out in the run of play or in corners, stuff like that. But yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. I do hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If there is a game you want us to look at, let us know. But yeah, comment it below if you're from YouTube. So yeah. And I will see you guys next week with a brand new episode. Peace.